Thank you so much for coming back to Sarita Talks. This is another awesome example of somebody who is out here doing the things, doing all the things that people are capable of. Sometimes we only need a chance. So a while back, I had on Kelly Mahana, Authentic Recovery, and he's introduced me to this awesome gentleman, Joel Alexander. Joel, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. I'm I'm 53 years old. Um, I've been mixed up, confused, lost, and making bad decisions for 40 years of my life. And in the last five, whatever the last 5 years or so, I've woke up and started accepting my responsibility of myself and accountability for my wrongdoings, and working hard to be um, the person that my mother raised me to be.
That's right. That's right. And guess what? I think we all know about that. And it doesn't matter where you've been at that point in your life. People make mistakes. And I know there's always like a little pre-talk. You get to know somebody before I start, before we get on the show. Sarita Talks, thanks for coming back. Like, subscribe, share. That's what they say. But I was getting to know Joel, and we were talking about how it was hard, coming up against obstacles upon release and finding a job. And you said you didn't give yourself the credit that you deserved. Tell us about
Well,
that.
my whole life has been self-inflicted wounds to myself. I used to blame others. I used to not take
Mhm.
responsibility. I used to not hold myself accountable, and I've held on to a street lifestyle,
Yeah,
gangs,
yeah.
penitentiary politics, and I never had the courage to let them go. So I sit here as the man today that has the courage to let them go, and understand for me to grow and to be who I am, I have to accept life for what it is, and use knowledge, not violence, or not street credibility to be who I am. So I sit here now as a man that loves his family, understands, which direction he's going, and what I want to be doing. But is it easy? No. Is it
No.
struggle? Every day I'm in the fight, because for 40 years I trained myself and I told myself, what I wanted to be. Whether I was scared, I told myself I wasn't. Whether I was didn't want to do something, I did it because I didn't allow. I had pride, I had ego issues, I had a lot
Mhm.
of a lot of problems. So I had to strip myself of all that and allow myself to move forward. And I said here to you today as just Joel. My mother named me Joel. Growing up, I didn't like that name. I changed it to
Mhm.
Joey, and then I also had a street name. So there was two different identities that I had to represent. My street name was Way Out. Imagine trying to be Way Out, trying not to
Mhm.
be, something that I wasn't. So um, and never, can't say that I regret
No.
anything that I done, or regret
Yeah.
anywhere that I've been, because it allowed me to be who I am today. But I understand that moving
My
forward,
choice.
that I stand here as Joel. I'm a recovery
Mhm.
coach for Authentic
Yeah.
Recovery Homes, and I I work and I changed. I work in the community. I work and I'm using humility. I'm focused on the purpose, not the money. And
Mhm.
I'm also a part of Halal Fine Jurors, which I'm going to be a gemologist. And
Nice.
shout out to Aaron Evans, which is a
That's
very
those
good
jewels.
that's
Joel
those
the jeweler.
jewelers,
That's what you're
That's
trying to
Joel.
do. Joel the
That's who
jeweler.
I am Joel the Jeweler. I'm on every platform as Joel the Jeweler. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now,
So
and
check
I'm
out Joel
back
the
behind.
jeweler.
Yeah, Aaron Evans and Halal Fine Jewelers back me. Shouts out to Priest the Jeweler and Al the Jeweler and the rest of the family. Um, and that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of that, though, when we were talking about the 40 years of conditioning, was tied up in identity. And I feel like a lot of times we take on versions of ourselves that are nothing like who we really are. Are you coming to that feeling that, hey, that's not who I really want to be. That's not who I really can be. That's not who really I'm able to be, the reflection of what I believe. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. But for
Yeah.
myself, when I say
So Joey and
courage,
Way Out, that's not who we are.
Nah, that's not who I am. I said, here's Joel, the person that my mother raised me, the person my mother named me to be, and the person that I stand to be. And I say that to say is that at one time I may have been scared, another time it may have been
Mhm.
defense mechanisms, and then at one time, once you commit to something, you just got to survive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I wasn't I always told my mother that I would, if it was God's will, I would make it home to her. And so some of the things that I've done and some of the, places that I've been and some of the activities I've been a part of, am I proud of? No, but I'm accepting them. I done that. You know what I mean? I was
Mhm.
that person. I'm not that person anymore. And I'm working hard every day. I know I have more work to do, a lot more work to do to make it better than where I've been. But I know I'm not lost. I understand, that I'm from. I say that I'm from Park Hill, but I'm from Northeast Denver, which is really
Mhm.
is. But through the trickeration of the division. We
Mhm.
were they tricked us to put Colorado Boulevard as a division and a divider between us. And
Mhm.
I can, and it's a lot more to it to that. But and I'm not here to say point any fingers at no one but myself.
Okay, okay. And I like that. It's all about accountability. And you know what? You sleep better at night when you know that you've done the next right thing. And if you tell me something I've done and it's wrong, I'm willing to change. Now, we had talked a little bit before about, incarceration, because as a formerly incarcerated person, I realized that when I went away for 14 and a half years, I went through seasons. And there were seasons where, I was just in an angry season. And then there was, a time where I turned that corner and I was able to really embrace the, hey, I have a hope and a promise and a future. And one day I will get a date. There, we sat with people, and I know you know the same, that didn't have a release date, that were sitting on sentences where the only way that sentence was to expire was when they expired. So that in itself is a teachable moment that, some people, it doesn't matter how much they rehabilitate themselves, they won't get that opportunity. And it's very sad. However, you went under something I've had on my show before. A lot of people don't know there was a big disparity between crack cocaine and cocaine. Now, I served 14 and a half years for second degree murder. You went for 13 and a half years for drugs
Yeah, for drugs. And I was
and,
under
and
the
tough on crime.
$100 crack law.
Yeah, wait, tough on crime. Do you think it worked? Do you think that tough on crime sentencing worked? Absolutely not. That's why everybody's
Not at
hooked on
all.
fentanyl now. Not at all.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit about your journey through incarceration.
Well, I my my state of mind was um not right. So
Mhm.
I stayed in USPs, and I
Well,
stayed
break it down for the viewer. The United States
a
Penitentiary, the
USP
federal.
is, yeah,
Yeah, you're in feds.
high prison, high max prison.
Hmm.
I was a part of gangs and still manipulation, you know what I mean, and not like
Right.
giving myself a chance to, even though, and at this time I was given all the books and I read everything, but I still didn't understand self. I believe that everything starts with self, the way that you know
It does.
yourself, the way that you love
It
yourself,
does,
you
Joel.
understand
Yeah.
yourself, and that gives you a chance to overcome who you are if you accept it. So through my journey, I was still lost. I still wanted to um, maybe hold on to Way Out or be Joey Alexander. I learned
Mhm.
that addiction is a lot of different things. You can be addicted to fame. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can be addicted to power. And I myself was someone that lived up to my name and held on to that, wanted to, be a part of, respect to be something. But what I found out is, what was I respecting? You know what I mean? And who was I respecting? Not myself, not my mother,
That's
not my
right.
family, not my kids. So I had to reevaluate that and take a better look at myself. And
And it
sitting
starts
here,
with self. It really does.
well, I
Yeah. And
wouldn't, yeah, I
go
wouldn't
ahead.
be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I didn't set myself down in this real brief, on a walk. So I just recently got out of prison and
Hmm.
let's see, I was every time I've been to prison, someone told on me. And I told myself this last time that I wouldn't give no one else the power to tell on me because I
Hmm.
kept pointing the finger at them, saying it was them, but it was really me. When you allow someone to tell on yourself, I tell on you, you give them the power to do that. The choice
Yeah.
is theirs, of course. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I mean that's a whole nother conversation that we could have. But you
Yeah.
give them the power to do that. So I told myself I wouldn't give no one that power anymore. I'm a God-fearing man. And when I
Me
say
too.
that,
Yeah.
that's with my
Woman.
actions. I don't just
Yeah.
talk it, it's my actions. Am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. But I intend to have humility. I intend to have integrity. I have a moral compass that I work every day to keep in place. Is it all the way there? No, it's not there. I don't sit here saying that I'm perfect and I'm that person, because I'm not that person. But I am reaching. I keep the resources around me. I read. I keep the stuff to read. I have a beautiful wife and a support of a
Nice.
wife, a woman, a beautiful queen that's strong and understands her position of not only to love me but to support me, but also to have the courage and the backbone to say yes when it's time to say yes and say no when it's time to say no, and that's very important.
It's a relationship based in respect, same as a relationship you have with yourself. So when I heard you say, somebody had told on you, and I'm a big fan of, I tell on myself, if I've done something wrong, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, because I don't need you to come back and throw that on me. And so, I mean, it's a different situation when we're not living our lives right and all of that, but we're talking about self and relationships. You wouldn't have the wonderful relationship with your wife if you didn't have one with yourself. Would you agree?
100% for me to.
Yes.
Well, I have I have I've been trouble in relationships, and
Haven't we all?
yeah, I've been trouble in relationships.
Yeah.
I've been selfish. I've been self-centered. I've been everything to destroy a relationship and to be so. And I can say that um, it started with myself. I just recently, sat in a cell and trying, and over and over and over and over and over and told myself, how do you overcome your, where you're headed, not what I done, because I can't change what I done, and I'm not trying to change that. I'm trying to change where I was headed. You know what I mean, and where where I wanted to go in life. You know what I mean, and first of all, I knew that I had to find a spiritual base and
Yeah.
work towards that, and that was that's my foundation, and then from there I knew that I had to pick up a book, gain some knowledge,
Yeah.
and then apply it. Anybody can have something, but if you don't apply it, it means nothing. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So and that's where that's where I'm at with myself. And I got like five people around me that always say, um, your life is a book. So I have a book.
Mm.
I'm gonna put a book out. I'm starting here. I'm starting with just putting in the work so people can see my
Yeah.
character. My character is who I am, and I'm consistent what I'm doing. Just like I was a bad guy, and I was embracing being bad. I'm embracing being good. And who I was in the dark, I'm the same person in the light, but in a different fashion, a different
Yeah,
form.
we're working a lot harder. I used to say this all the time because I've had a vicious history with drugs. And I was young. I had no idea about recovery. This light's going to keep going out on me and I'm going to let it. Anyways, I had no idea about recovery or any of those things. So I would go find people and I'm like, ooh, okay, you look fun. You used to do this. Let's go do it. And I was relapsing people. So in reality, I was a soldier for Satan. I was out there, I was doing his work everywhere I went. I was, late, let's party, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And I didn't realize that these people, I didn't even know what getting sober was. I didn't know what being clean was. And I was just like, no, man, you're cool, you're straight, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So all of that effort and charisma and all that I put into being a bad person, just like you said, I've transitioned that into doing all those good things I possibly can to bring people to the Lord instead of trying to make something that's bad good. So I can totally understand that. And I realize now that a lot of people are talking about self-care. You got to take care of yourself. You really do, but it's more than just going and buying a new face cream. You've got to really put in work to care about yourself. And it sounds like you're putting in some work. You're the book. What chapter do you feel like you're on in that book, Joel?
Um, I believe that my book continues to go, man. It continues
Yeah.
to. I couldn't tell you what chapter I'm in because I'm in a place. I guess it would maybe have to have two. Maybe would have to be two books, because
Yeah,
I'm just now breaking the surface of the of this side of the book. You know what I mean?
that's
It's two
right.
parts. You know, it's two parts of the book. So I can't answer that question right now, but I can say that it's coming. I'm working towards it, but right now I would just continue with my character and
Yeah.
working with to help. I fill penitentiaries up. I've been a part of um, wrongdoings, and from now I'm just
Mhm.
kind of teaching and by my actions, not by my words, by my actions. I'm an action person. You know what I mean? I
Right.
tell I work. I tell Kelly every day, man. And shouts out to Kelly
Shouts out
again.
Kelly Mahana.
Tell Kelly, shouts out to Kelly, man. You know what I mean? And I tell him every day, man, that by my gratitude and being appreciative, what I'm doing and where I'm at is by my actions. And that's the same way with Aaron Evans. I tell him the same way. You know what I mean? He's a God fearing man. You know what I mean? And he tells me every day you have to have God acts. You know what I mean? And I believe, it was hard for me to embrace because I had been um can I say allowing
Mhm.
Satan to work in his favor for me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but if I was doing something bad on the way home as we're getting away, I'm praying to God. You know what I mean? So
Say it one more time. Can you just say that one more time?
if
Because
I
that's
was doing
exactly how it
something
goes.
bad
That's
on my way
exactly how it
home,
goes.
I'm
Yes.
praying to
We listen,
God.
didn't
You know
have
what I mean?
no time for God
And
until we got in trouble. And then it was like, oh,
got in
Jesus.
trouble.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
I understand that
We knew about him, but we
I
weren't worried
have
about him until it was time.
I have um a group of gentlemen around me. Um um Pastor B at the Dream Center, um Pastor Luke, um, Reverend Leon Kelly, um and just a group of other men, like-minded men like myself, that
Yeah.
have changed their life, that I grew up with, that I've been around my whole life, and family members that we have co-defendants. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That we call and we support each other, and and it's a mental. I have one co-defendant, say his name, but he's we talk for hours, but he knows me on all. He knows Joel, he knows Joey, and he knows Way Out, and he can relate to all three of them.
Mm. Up. I lost sound with you. I don't have sound. We lost sound. Well, while we're waiting for Joel to get his sound back, I just want to really talk about how sometimes now
I'm on
I
the
hear
show,
you. You
baby.
came back.
Yeah, all right, I
Hello?
love you. I'll call you back. I'm on the show. All right,
Oh,
yeah, I love you.
this man.
I'm
I
sorry.
know you didn't just take a phone call. This man.
Sorry.
Regardless, here we
I'm
go.
sorry.
Back on. No, that's okay. So while he was finding his excuse me, his sound, and he loves you, baby. He'll call you back. He's on the show. I just really want to
I'm
touch on
sorry.
a lot of times. No, you've got a second sound going too. Now we've got the sound is bouncing back and forth. Okay. It's my scrappy little show, people. Sarita Talks. It's a scrappy little show. Like, subscribe, share, all that. Joel comes on. He's telling us about transformation, change, starting with self. Now, we had just before we got onto that talking about co-defendants or somebody who's on the same case as you, because a lot of people don't know this terminology. But there's
Yeah.
also strength in a multitude of advisors. And there's also strength in having a mentor. And I was just in the Bible the other night. Remember, Moses was out there and his wife's dad says, hey, you need some people to help you. Everybody's coming to you. Elect some men around you. So I like that you found community because I feel like when we have community, we can go so much further. Would you agree?
Yeah. And it's also with that, with and I'm not, so even the guys that still have my old mindset, I still communicate with them because that allows me to place myself where I want to be and know where I want to go and where I don't want to be. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Well, it does. I think it's giving you an example of, hey, this is where I was. And it's not like I'm, a lot of people say, oh, you got there, now you're stuck up, you think you're better, all of that. That's not the case. Not at all. I want to get you from where you're at and bring you to where I'm at. Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joel, we want to shout out Kelly Mahana. I'm getting a little background feedback on my side. So give all your shouts out and we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. You'll come back on. And when that book's done, we're going to debut it, correct?
Yeah, that's for sure.
All
I want
right.
to give shots out.
Tell us a couple words and lead us on out.
Yeah, I want to give shots out to my wife, of course.
That's right. He loves you. He'll call you right back. He's on the show.
I'm single mothers. As you know, I had some some of my kids' mothers raised my kids while I was incarcerated. I give shots out to single mothers, my mother, Kelly, of course,
My mama
Aaron,
too.
yeah,
Love
your
you,
mom,
mommy.
all the moms,
Yeah.
and the people in the struggle, man, the people that's the brothers that want to change but don't have the courage to, and
Mm-hmm.
recovery coaching is there for you. You know what I mean? You can take the course. I can get you a scholarship. Just all the,
Okay.
just everybody that's giving me a chance and I believe in myself, so it's allowing other people to believe in me. Um, that's gonna be about it, man. My kids, of course, I do
That's
have
right.
kids. My kids, you know what I mean, and my family, my grandkids, my kids, my family, and and my team, man, my authentic recovery team. We got a team, and we working together, and we changing lives, and we working. We got transitional homes. If you're in Denver, Colorado, and you don't have nowhere to stay, and you want to get into recovery, we have treatment, and a lot of change and love to give, as far as allowing a person to better themselves. And that'll be about it. I
Well,
appreciate you having me on. And as I move forward and things
absolutely.
get in, I'll reach back out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I can definitely debut your book. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you, Joel, for coming on. I want to also give shouts out to everybody who pays attention. And if you take away anything from what this man has told us, it's about self. It starts with you. It starts with being accountable. It starts with being authentic. Thanks for coming on, Joel. I appreciate you. And I will see you all